Hello again everyone. First off, before we start, let me just apologise for the quality of this video. It's not using all my usual equipment, I'm just using the onboard webcam and microphone from my computer. It was a bit of a last minute thought actually. Last time I did a guitar teardown and rebuild, which was the Marlin sidewinder, it was quite well received and I planned on doing, or at least starting, something similar this evening. I thought it'd be fun to actually mention how I ended up with this guitar. The Marlin sidewinder that you saw me rebuild, I actually purchased on a bit of a whim because it was a guitar that I used to own. It's not a particularly fantastic guitar, but sentimentality and everything like that. I wanted to get another one just to see what the first guitar I had as a child was actually like. After tiring of it fairly quickly, as you do, I decided to do it up and sell it. Now, that guitar I actually bought for £60 UK. Can't remember if there was additional delivery on top of that. It was an eBay purchase. And I got a hard case with that. Now, the guitar itself, after doing it up, I mean, I must have spent no more than about £10 on consumables to put that right or make it as good as it can be. I actually kept the hard case for another guitar and did a straight swap for the Marlin. The guitar I got in its place, I'll put a picture on screen now. I think it was a Schecter Omen Solo 6, I think, which is basically their lower end Les Paul copies. Probably would have cost about £250, £300 brand new. Was very, very lucky. I found a guy who had a similar sort of feeling really. He had this Schecter guitar lying around that he didn't really play, and he fancied a Marlin for nostalgia's sake. The one I had was in particularly good condition, and he did a straight swap, so I absolutely bit his hand off just because it was a more valuable guitar more than anything really. But truth be told, I already have a Gibson Les Paul and the Schecter wasn't anything new to me. So I actually decided to try and sell the Schecter and got £150 for that. So that's not a bad trade-up. And I ended up using the money bought from that Schecter to go and buy yet another bargain guitar I came across, which was a Epiphone Firebird Studio, which was also fitted with Seymour Duncan Blackout active pickups. I had to go and pick that up, which was a fair distance away, so it cost me about £10 in fuel. But all in all, that guitar itself probably worth about, I would say, £250. And as I say, I got that for £150. What happened from there? Well, I sold the Seymour Duncan pickups out of it for I think £60. I put more correct for that guitar pickups back in, which I think were actually Wilkinson's PAF style pickups. And I actually listed that guitar, I think, for about £250. I got an offer for an Epiphone Dot semi-hollow guitar, which is effectively a 335 with a centre block. It's at the cheaper end of the scale. I think you can get a Studio Dot, which is cheaper yet again, but that also in good condition is a guitar that's probably worth about £250 to £300. Now at this point, I didn't actually own a hollow body myself, so I was kind of tempted by this. But the chap who was selling it said that the guitar needed some TLC and it needed rewiring. And it was a guitar that I think he got off a friend a little while ago, and he'd never bothered himself to rewire it, and it sat collecting dust, blah, blah, blah. So I actually ended up going to meet with this chap, and the outcome was that he offered me £50, I think it was, to cover I should point out actually the Epiphone Firebird again had a case which I didn't sell with the guitar, seems to be a running theme. But this guy actually offered me the Epiphone Dot and £50 to cover having the Dot rewired, which is actually round here a pretty reasonable and accurate cost, at least for the labour anyway. And I was just sort of tempted because I didn't have a hollow body. And truth be told, I think he probably got the better deal in terms of raw cash value, but I got a hard case with the Dot and everything like that. When I got it home, I found that, as he described, it didn't actually even make a sound. It did actually also have a few more dings on it than I expected. In fact, yeah, let me show you. Just turn the monitor on there so you can see what I can see what you can see. So, problem number one, it's got a bit of a scuff here. These are not the pickups it came with. The pickups it came with are the original Epiphone pickups, which are fine. Although the problem I had with these were they were extremely rusted and the screws in them were that far gone that I couldn't actually adjust the height on them or anything like that. And my personal preference is to either have a splittable humbucker or a P90 in the neck, because I like that versatility in the neck. So given the state that the pickups were in, I have briefly trialled these Warman P90 pickups in, and I have to say, at least on the bridge, I'm very, very happy with them.